Okay, after a 10-hour drive to South Carolina and back, got this new engine. Got it from a guy. He said it had been rebuilt, so we'll take a look. I think first thing we'll do is I did something different too, just to make sure I didn't break the block. I got these nice eye bolts, and I'm using a 4-point chain pick, and it lets these kind of rotate. And I'm staying away from these corner bolts. That's where, you know, I got the crack in the last one. There's not as much material with this exhaust port here and a compression cylinder here, so a lot of heat and stress in this area, so I'm just staying away from the corners and trying to pick some points that's just got a lot more casting and metal around them. So and this engine does have the pistons, exhaust valves, crank, and it's got the gears on the front here too, and the cam. So I'll turn it over, get this oil pan off, see what's going on inside there, and get some oil in some other places, and then start to rotate this. I put some light oil up here and on the other parts, just to start to put some lubrication into the system. And got me a spring removal tool. I want to take one of these springs off and just compare it to the other engine, because the other engine ran really well, and that way I can see if this is fresh springs, if this truly was rebuilt. And then I might want to do a little lapping on the valves, just to make sure, because the valves themselves look great. The seats, just a little bit of you know, like white powder corrosion, not bad. So first thing is get this pan off. See what we got in here. So far what I see looks super clean in here. Go ahead and I'll clean this gasket off. I'm gonna take this pickup tube out of there also, so I can see what it's doing. See how clean it is. I'll get a little bit of oil sprayed in around these piston sleeves and see if we can rotate it a little bit, get some oil moving on all of these surfaces. First impression is this is super clean, and oil pan don't look too bad. There's some garbage in there. We'll clean all that out, but we'll just see, do we see super clean? So I don't see any metal flakes or anything like that in the oil. Trying to see what all this stuff is. Just dirt and garbage. So, okay, not bad. Everything looks pretty decent in here. This pickup's super clean. Can rotate the engine fairly easily here. And I've got those oiled pretty well. And I'm just looking in the cylinders here, and they look super clean right now. Okay, so far I'm really happy with what I'm seeing here. I'm looking real close at these valves and seats, and you can see they're really shiny. There might be just a touch of tiny rust on some of them, but that is so small. I'm not sure I'm even going to lap these. I'm gonna do I'll put a light oil in there and then put a vacuum over on this side and see if it pulls it through. If it doesn't, I'm feeling pretty good about that. And with the vacuum on there, it's barely pulling any. All the valves are sealing really nice. Did a vacuum pull on all of them. Nothing's leaking except this one. And what we see here, you can see there's a little black mark right there. And maybe even a little ding mark right there. I mean, I can almost feel that with my finger there. This valve spring compressor on Facebook Marketplace for 50 bucks. So, see how it works here. Trying to get those keepers to separate. They're stuck together right now. So I got a magnet and I'm just trying to pop them apart here. There's one out. And there's the second one out. Should be able to release this then. Okay. Two keepers out, and we should be able to pull the Okay, we got some valve lapping compound. I rotated the engine so the valve goes all the way down. This is one where we took the keeper off. And got this valve lapping tool, and we just basically do this until we get the type of surface we're looking for. I'm just putting light pressure on there. You can kind of hear it's making a different sound now. So we'll take that out and clean it, and we'll do the liquid check again. Okay, I've got the valve in the seat. I lapped it, and I put the spring and keeper back on. And now we'll do a vacuum check and see what happens. still pulling some. The other ones didn't pull at all, so I'm gonna lap it a little more. Okay, lapped it a second time, got the fluid in there. No leaks, so I think we finally got them all sealed. A few more good observations on this motor. If we look real close, you'll see that they're 30 thousandths over. And you can see real light, it says front of the engine, pointing this way. And there's a number 1 there. And down in this one is a number 2, front of the engine that way, 30 thousandths over. And it's hard to see, but that one's got a 3, 4, 5, and this one is 6. Same thing, front of the engine, 30 thousandths. So all these pistons are set up the right way. And I rotated the engine to cylinder number 1, top dead center. And sure enough, the timing marks on the wheel line up perfect. So looks like this engine was assembled correctly. And if we look at the number on this engine, 649, 656. We'll go over and look at the other block. There's some different things here compared to the other block. I'm not sure what these numbers mean over here. And the other block has a -3 WF instead of a -2. So we can see there's a 0 and a 3 and like a 23 there. Come over to the other block. And we see the 649 656-3 WF. There's a little X in front of it that's not on that one. Then there's a CUCR 0 and then a looks like a 18-E. So they both have the same numbers there, just a different dash. Okay, now that we got that one valve seating nice, I wanted to take the crank out and check everything in here, and I want to clean all the oil passages out, make sure they're nice and clean. So, you know, we've got everything organized over here in the cylinder 1 through 6 and driver and passenger side, so we know how everything goes back on. And lift this crank out. Got the crank out, looked at all the bearings, they look really good. I don't think this engine's actually been run after it was put back together. If it has, it sure didn't run very long. And so I'm gonna take a look at the ring gap over here. It's supposed to be a maximum of 20 thousandths at the top, 7 thousandths at the bottom. So let's see what we got. So I checked this, I just took this cylinder 1 ring out just to check on this engine build. It was 14 thousandths, so it's kind of right in the middle. 7 minimum, 20 max, so it's good. Okay, the bearing surfaces look really good. Check the ring gap on the pistons. They're right in the middle of the spec, so I've got some assembly lube here. I'm going to use some of this Lucas assembly lube, and I'm just going to start putting this back together. I do have a new kit that I'm going to compare these seals. Those might have been in there for a while, so I'm just going to check those on the other kit I have, and we'll use all new gaskets. So yeah, the new ones are much more pliable. So I'll put the new ones in, and they go in this block right here. So I'll make sure I put the new ones in and trim those to the right height. Make sure everything's still free, no catching. sure I don't feel anything. I'll put it back to 0, top dead center here. Feels good, no catches. Got this nice compressor ring tool. Got this back in 1990. I was working on a motorcycle. So the pistons have an arrow on these that point to the front. I got number 6 here. Arrow points to the front, this is back. I'm just gonna set this down in here nice and easy. And we can release this. Just trying to, don't want to release it too much. Okay, I got the engine pretty much back to where I got it and when I first bought it, other than now I've checked it all out. Oil passage is all clear, bearings look good, wrist pins, everything's nice and snug, no issues. Tolerances are all really good. I think this engine was rebuilt and it just sat there, so I'm feeling good about it. The only thing I haven't done is I do want to put some coolant in the block. You know, why not check this guy for the same issue the other one had? See, make sure I don't have a cracked block. So I gotta go travel tomorrow morning for just a little bit, so this will give it a good 24 hours of soak time. So I can't do that yet, because if I pour that in there, it's just going to run out right there. So I've got to put a hose in there and put a cap in there before I pour any fluid in there. Okay, I got the hose lifted up, got a little brass plug in there, and filled the water level up right up to the top there. See it wiggle? So we'll just let that sit there and check it out tomorrow. We've been down this road once before. We know this isn't the only way, and once you put stress on it, you could still have a crack, but if there's a big crack, it should show up pretty quick. Next morning, water's down just a hair, but it's because I didn't quite get that tight. I didn't see any drips anywhere else, so feeling good. This is just oil here. It's out. Didn't see any more water down there in the pan. So just quick check for block cracks. Seems to be okay. You can see the water went down just a hair there, but so I'm gonna go ahead and flush the water through. Just pull this drain plug out here and just let that water flush out. So from this engine that has the cracked block, you can see this plate. It's the mounting plate for the engine. And if we go look at this other one, this engine supposedly came off of a Darrin, was rebuilt to put on a Jeep. And you can see these aren't exactly the same. So I got to pull this timing gear, pull this plate off and put the other plate back on and put the gear back on. Okay, the block is at least dry enough now where I can put the touch up on the second layer. Since I painted over that orange, you know, where there's roughness in the casting, you can sometimes see little bits of orange. So I'm just gonna dab the paintbrush to try to cover up any of those, anywhere I see orange. Same thing on this side over here. Just wherever I see orange, I'll just try to hide that a little better. And then we'll start assembling the engine.